Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another live stream. Thank you for joining me this evening. It is 9 p.m. Central Time and we are seeing our first patch of snow of this possibly historic snowstorm starting to develop here over Kentucky Lake here, starting to take over some of this rain and thunderstorm activity that we've been seeing here near Waverly, New Johnsonville, Bakerville, and Camden in in Tennessee. And this is going to eventually take over this entire storm complex system, most likely, all the way from Memphis back up into the northeast here, where we have winter storm warnings up for a good chunk of the northeast here, as this is going to be an intense snowstorm dropping over a foot of snow on some areas. Okay, so let's go ahead and break it down individually, city by city, of what you could see. Okay, so New York here, New York City, what are you likely to see here? Well, your winter storm warning reads heavy snow expected, total snow accumulations of 4 to 8 inches, highest amounts away from the shoreline, winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Personally, I'm guessing you're going to get about half a foot of snow, and again, maybe some of that gusty wind action in your area could create some blowing snow, potentially even making things look like a weak blizzard in your neck of the woods. Okay, so take a look at Philadelphia. Okay, you're actually not under a winter storm warning. You're under a winter weather advisory. Wet snow expected, total snow accumulations of 1 to 4 inches, winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Now you'll see wet snow expected. Okay, this is because pretty much everybody in southern New England here, well, yes, for a certain period of time, you are going to have heavy accumulating snow that is going to be mixing in with rain. All right, as you're going to be right along that 32-degree mark. So some areas may end up with not that much accumulating snow, 12 hours after the event, okay? But even like the total snow accumulations, ignoring the amount that is going to melt away, Philadelphia is only expected to see about 1 to 4 inches, okay? So really, you're going to be staying on the rainy side of things here for a decent chunk of this event, okay? So let's take a look at some other cities here. Boston, all right? Boston, Massachusetts, okay? So Boston is under a winter storm warning. Your winter storm warning reads heavy snow expected, total snow accumulations of 4 to 7 inches, winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Again, probably about half a foot of snow, potentially at times looking like some minor blizzard conditions with those gusty winds there. Providence, Rhode Island, okay, heavy snow expected, total snow accumulations of 4 to 7 inches, winds gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. So same thing for you guys, all right, and those are most of the major cities up here in the northeast that are going to get impacted by this storm. Obviously, if you're in the mountains, you're going to be seeing much more snowfall, okay? There are areas here in the northeast that are likely going to be having the chance, at least, to see upwards of a foot of snow. Earlier today, it was looking more likely that we could see some areas reach a foot of snow, but now it's looking like maybe one isolated spot could see that, and even reading these winter storm warnings now, it's looking like maybe that's even out of the picture, okay? It's been a while since I've actually looked at these. So alright, maybe it's not looking quite as likely that we see a foot of snow, alright, and we're definitely not going to see that in too many areas. If we do, it's just going to be one spot that reaches that much, one very isolated area, okay? Now, this is a very complex storm system that's also going to cause some problems here for portions of the deep south, as we're already seeing our first snowfall happening here, okay? So let's read the winter weather advisory for Memphis. Wet snow continues to fall, accumulations around an inch of snow with isolated amounts up to 2 inches. So Memphis, you're looking at a wet snow, a few hours after the event, this is all going to be melted, but you are starting to see some of that wet snow already, alright, as pointed out by this winter weather advisory. Wet snow continues, it reads, okay? So Clarksville, Tennessee. Wet snow expected, total snow accumulations of up to 1 inch, mainly north of Interstate 40. A few spots near the Kentucky border and along the Cumberland Plateau may have up to 1 inch of slushy snow on grassy areas. Winds will gust as high as 35 miles per hour. Okay, so you guys in Tennessee, even though you're probably not going to get quite as much snow out of this event as the Northeast is, you're still going to be looking at some of that gusty wind action, okay? It's definitely going to be pretty interesting. And, we take a look here, and Nashville is seeing some pretty intense storms at the moment, with some very heavy rainfall right on top of the area that got hit by the tornado last year near Hendersonville here, okay? So definitely going to be interesting to see how much rain you guys get from this event, okay? And we take a look at the storm total precipitation here. We can see that some of these areas could be looking at a few inches of rain along with their snow, okay? Mainly around Nashville, though, probably about an inch of rain. All right, it's not really going to be a few inches of rain, like I said, but one or two isolated spots might see 2 inches of rain. But once you get up to the north, towards like Bowling Green and stuff, that's where we could actually see some problems with some flooding, all right, with a few inches of snow being possible, or sorry, a few inches of rain being possible, as you have that less of a chance for snow here, okay? So definitely going to be a complex storm system, all right? We'll take a look at a couple more cities here. Lexington, rain is expected to change over to a brief period of wet snow. This snow could be heavy at times. Many areas within the advisory will see less than 1 inch of snowfall. However, localized amounts of 1 to 2 inches of snow are possible. And that's another thing to mention with this storm. While you are going to be seeing some of the heaviest snow you may have ever seen, it's not going to last long at all. All right, it's going to sweep through this area here. It's not going to last very long, but while it is lasting, it is going to be incredibly heavy snowfall likely, mixed kind of with some of that heavy rain activity that we're seeing, okay? So Lexington, right? And finally, we'll take a look at Bowling Green here. Rain is expected. This is the same thing as Lexington, okay? So again, 1 to 2 inches possible in isolated locations. So, that is it for the snow portion of this storm system, but we're not done talking yet, alright? Because we have got a marginal risk of severe weather here across portions of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and even Tennessee, alright? And we actually have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings in effect at the minute, okay? We have one here just in between Johnson City and Asheville here in the North Carolina area, okay? We take a look here, and this severe thunderstorm warning reads less than 3/4 of an inch hail, but wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, okay? And, you know, we take a look here with our little wind measuring tool, and, you know, we're definitely seeing those widespread gusts of 45 to 50. Earlier, we really were seeing gusts in the 60 area in this region, okay? And then we go up to our other severe thunderstorm warning here that is near Norton, Virginia, okay? This area isn't even under a risk for severe weather, technically, from the SPC, but they do have a severe thunderstorm warning for those gusty winds, okay? And as you can see, again, some possibly a little less intense gusts, but we are right along the radar line here, so it's a little bit messed up probably. But still, gusty winds are going to be possible here over the entirety of this dark green area tonight. And, you know, with this tiny line of thunderstorms that we have here, you know, maybe even extend this marginal risk here up into Virginia a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few more severe thunderstorm warnings in the southern Virginia area. It's definitely not out of the question, I would say, okay? So this is a very complex storm system already causing problems, alright? Like I said, the reason I went live now is because it's a magical moment, alright? We are seeing the first snowflakes starting to mix in here with our rain down in portions of Tennessee and Kentucky here, mainly just Tennessee at the minute, actually, kind of around the Kentucky Lake area. So definitely an interesting thing to look at here, and, you know, we see, even though there's only a little bit of snow starting to mix in, it is kind of taking over here a little bit in the Kentucky Lake area. And, you know, it's not in an area that had the heaviest rain, so this snow is probably not going to be too heavy. But some areas that are seeing heavy rainfall, like the Nashville area, once it changes to snow for you guys, it is going to be pretty intense probably. So keep an eye out on that for sure. Probably going to stay here live for a few more minutes. We also have several special weather statements for strong thunderstorms. We even have some high wind warnings in effect here in parts of Virginia and North Carolina because, you know, this storm is producing some damaging winds for sure, even at the minute here, okay? So we take a look at, we'll take a look at Galax, Virginia's high wind warning. We see northwest winds 25 to 35 miles per hour, okay, which doesn't wouldn't sound too bad at first, but then you see gusts up to 65 miles per hour expected. That's the problem. It's those gusts, man. They get so intense in severe storms like this. Impacts, damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. So definitely going to be looking at some intense action, severe-wise, from these storms here in the Galax, Virginia area. Take a look at, let's see here, what's another area that's very populated under a high wind warning? I don't think there are any. Yeah, not too many big cities under a high wind warning at the minute. So go ahead and wait for a radar update here on our severe thunderstorm that is near Wise, Virginia at the minute. Go ahead and take a look here at some cameras in Tennessee. Take a look at what they're seeing at the minute. This one's probably just going to be looking at some moderate to light rainfall, or light to moderate rainfall. Yeah, you see, that's definitely some rainfall, and it's not quite snowing yet because we're still at about 45 degrees. It's a very common misconception that it actually has to be 32 degrees to snow. It doesn't. Once you get below 40, really, it's a pretty mixy battlefield of snow, wet snow, and rain. And you can see the temperature is dropping somewhat rapidly here in this area where we have this live cam up. And within the last 10 minutes even, it's dropped about half a degree. So it is getting cooler, and soon you are going to start seeing that snow mix in here within the next few hours. The further west you are, the quicker you're going to see it start, okay? And like I said, really, it's just that one spot at the minute that's got that snow going, and it's right over the Kentucky Lake. Here near Jackson, Tennessee, just to the northeast of Jackson. So, you might start to see some snowflakes mixing in here, some wet snowflakes in your area. So, look out for that. Let's see here, velocities have updated for this severe storm. It is worth noting that technically we do have a small tornado risk for the rest of the night from the SPC, but I don't think a tornado is in the picture. I wouldn't be worried about tornadoes, at least here, and if you're included in this marginal risk, but it is driven by tornadoes and damaging winds, which damaging winds I think are definitely going to be somewhat of an issue, but I wouldn't really worry too much about tornadoes in this area. But just stay tuned in to your local National Weather Service just in case. Monitor the weather somewhat frequently. I know a lot of people in this area are probably going to bed, especially because, you know, it's getting past 10 in this area, all right? And it is a Monday, so people are probably starting to turn off the lights here. But if you are here in, like, an area that's under a severe thunderstorm warning or a high wind warning, I may just wait a little bit longer to wait for these storms to get past you before you go to bed, just to be sure that they don't do anything. They're probably not going to, but there is that small chance that we do see something happen with these. But likely, it's just going to be some damaging winds, which is still something to look out for, because you're going to want to make sure that your power doesn't go out or tree limbs are falling, so maybe just keep a couple of lights on to make sure your power doesn't go out. Just saw some pretty intense winds probably going through Johnson City. It's really mountainous areas that we have our severe thunderstorm warnings for. There is a pretty populated area here, Wise, in Virginia, that just got hit by these damaging winds. So let's go ahead and take a look at another look at our snowfall here near the Kentucky Lake, in between Dixon and Lexington in Tennessee here, to the northeast of Jackson. I don't know why I went to velocities. We're kind of right along the radar switch here, so I think it's better to look from the Nashville radar actually at this snow. And yeah, it's definitely becoming a little bit more scattered here. Really anywhere in western Tennessee that's seeing rain, you could possibly see some wet snowflakes mix in here in the next few minutes, so keep an eye out on that. Might be fun to look at. A little surprised we have not gotten a radar update here for the Jefferson City Morristown radar. Sorry if my clicking's really loud. Yeah, so some damaging winds just went through Wise in Virginia, so we may even see a damaging wind report or two come out of that, but it's not going to be anything major. It'll be, you know, your standard tree limbs down, maybe a few power lines down, maybe a few shingles knocked off a roof. Nothing major. So, looks like we did get that Jefferson City radar update here. Let's take another look at the velocities. Yeah, still got some gusty winds in here, definitely. But I imagine once these severe thunderstorm warnings expire, they will probably not issue any more for these two specific storms with this line of thunderstorms, because they are fizzling out just a little bit, it seems. We are in a bit of a radar hole here. I know it sounds like I say that a lot, but it's true. But soon we'll be able to look at the Roanoke radar here for this storm up to the north. And I don't know about this one down to the south here. Maybe Greenville, South Carolina. But it's not really traveling south. It's kind of just traveling straight east. Definitely, again, this is a very complex storm. That doesn't always mean that it's like a super bad storm, but it's definitely complex. This is not something you see every day. So, again, I mean, you're probably hearing some lashing rain right now. If you are just the north and the east of Nashville, like the Gallatin, Hendersonville, LaGuardo area. Man, it feels so weird to say those names again after the massive tornado that ripped through there. I'm just having like flashbacks to tornado emergency has been issued. Hope everybody is doing okay with that, by the way. Probably still quite a bit of damage across these three cities here because, I mean, that was a nasty tornado and it was only a couple months ago, really. It was a little over 2 months ago. About 3 days over 2 months ago. So hopefully things are starting to get rebuilt a little bit, but obviously process is going to be very slow with that. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for today. Snow is mixing in. It's an exciting time for the people that are in the path of this snowstorm if you do like snow. Otherwise, it's probably a little unfortunate, but I know I'm a snow lover. But yeah, snow's starting to mix in here. Severe storms possible in the southeast tonight, but no major threats in play. So, if you guys did enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe because it helps out the channel, or this live stream, sorry. Thank you all for tuning in. And I will see you in the next one, which may be tomorrow. I don't know. Things will probably have fizzled out by tomorrow evening and tomorrow afternoon. So, we'll see. But until then, see y'all in the next one.